Since I was 11, I've been making content on YouTube, which has been on 6 channels prior to this one, 4 channels of my own and 2 group channels. Only the most recent one exists nowadays, because my friends and I still like to go back and watch some of the videos there from time to time. Since ending that channel in July of 2018, I've started the LumaCurve channel, I've started this channel, and I've started making music. The main reason behind all of this creative output is actually more selfish than wanting money from it or wanting to be popular. I'm doing this to immortalize myself somewhere. In 100 years, I don't want to be represented by a rock with a name on it. I want to be represented by a YouTube channel that shows me having fun with my friends, a channel of me talking about things that interest me, and creative outlets that depict the struggles and triumphs that I go through as I navigate life. And I feel a really strong pull towards making all of this, which makes me wonder, do we really have to create things that outlive us? Hi, welcome to my channel where I talk about things that interest me because that's all I do all the time. While we're on the subject of creative outlets, my EP Best Wishes just hit 1,000 streams, and my recent single Reckless hit 100, and we're about to hit 100 subscribers on the channel, so very cool, thank you for being here. Now for the topic of this video. Fewer people than I would expect have a proper creative outlet. I mean, sure, I've got friends who write stories, paint, act, etc., but the amount of people who are actually putting anything out there into the world is like 1 in 4. Unless you count Instagram posts, but I think that's a different story entirely in most cases. So this has brought me to think about why I'm making so much public content. I get that this whole generation was raised on the idea that they are worth attention, and I do fall into that category to a certain extent. I mean, look at my Twitter, it's just me making jokes into an audience of like 10 people, usually. But I don't get it. Why do some people want to make art, and why do some not? Well, some artists have interesting reasons why. David Bowie said it was because he had a repulsive need to be something more than human, and that he felt very puny as a human, which is surprisingly relatable. But I want to know other people's reasonings for it, so I asked a couple of friends. Do you make music, stories, or follow any other creative endeavor?
So yes, actually. For a long time, I grew up basically being in love with music. I have played piano, guitar. More recently, I've really gotten into percussion instruments, so marimba, xylophone, predominantly drums though. It's like a really big outlet for me, I guess, to get all that freaking ADHD, hyperactive, young adultness out. And then on top of that, writing is mainly what I do.
I like to make music in my spare time whenever I feel motivated. It's kind of like an outlet for me because therapy is, I don't really like that. It's kind of weird. It's sus. So I feel like writing songs and lyrics and making my own beats to, just how I feel really impacts just how I live day to day, I guess.
What makes you want to do that?
Good question. Nothing makes me want to do it as far as like external forces go. It's something that just kind of happens. Like, I'll wake up one day and it's just like, yo, I had this amazing dream. We're gonna turn it into like a 30-page story and then nobody's ever gonna see it. And then I'll, spend my day doing that. Or like when I'm at work and stuff and I'm doing monotonous tasks and my brain's just like, okay, so imagine this, right? There's a world and things are happening in it, and then there's all these characters going on, and then so as I'm doing my job, whatever boring crap it is that day, these stories, they expand and expand and expand until my shift's over and I go home and realize I probably should have written that down.
Do you think it's important to have a creative outlet?
Very much so, because if you don't, then like, what are you really gonna do? Just like sit there?
Video games? Do you think it's important to have a creative outlet?
See, that's like an interesting question. I think it really depends on the person. So for me specifically, absolutely. Without a creative outlet, my brain would probably just be blank all the time, and that's kind of spooky. But I imagine for other people who are probably normal, no, like they don't need a creative outlet, or their creativity is something that I probably don't really see or understand. So, I don't know. It's an interesting concept. I would say probably yes. I don't know. TLDR, yes.
So it seems like my friends who make art do it because it's cathartic and therapeutic, which isn't where my motivation comes from. This is a topic that I'm sure some psychologists could go into hours of depth on, but seeing as I'm only in Psych 101 and am barely holding onto a B, I don't think I'm qualified. I am, however, interested to hear what other people think, so I'm going to put a poll in this video asking what your motivation to create art is. I want to see how it shakes out. Thanks for watching.